Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Shakespeare here again with psychic medium and remote viewer Liz Cross. It's the 21st of September 2022. How are you doing, Liz?
I am doing fabulous. Thank you.
Okay. Someone's asked us to do Ron DeSantis, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Bit timely. I wonder why we want to do that one. Okay. Right. How's he doing today?
He's great. He's doing very well. I feel like he gets up extremely early in the morning. He is very mentally sharp. He's very much down to business. He doesn't mess around. I don't feel like he's a time waster at all.
No. Okay. Well, that's good. That's he's the current governor of Florida, so you would expect your people in positions of power there to do the work, wouldn't you? So that's good, I suppose. Right. So recently, he decided to send some, I believe it was Venezuelan immigrants, possibly illegal immigrants, I believe. I don't know if they had all full documentation. Probably not.
Migrants.
Migrants. Yes, migrants. Yeah. That's right, migrants. He sent them up to Martha's Vineyard, which is an enclave just outside in Massachusetts. Why did he do that?
Oh, that's a good starting question. Why did you do that? I wanted to prove a point.
And what point was that?
What point was that you were trying to prove? Ooh, I don't know if I should answer this. Ooh, okay. He's
Stop
saying
recording.
stop recording off camera. He's saying I needed to prove what a burden they are. We can't afford to house them. We can't afford to feed them. We're cash strapped as it is. And he's saying that Florida is being flooded with them. They're coming over on boats.
Yeah, I believe Texas are as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. So, in fact, well, if you think about it, Texas has the land border with Mexico.
Oh, okay. But are they from, these aren't from Mexico, though.
No, I believe they're from Venezuela. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, did they come by boat to Florida or did they come via land through South America into Mexico, crossing over? I don't know. I mean,
well, he may know. Let's ask. Did they come by boat? He believes that they have come by boat.
Right. Okay. Well, that would make sense then. So did they come up through Miami?
Did they come up through Miami? Just north of Miami.
Okay.
On the east side or the west side? On the west side.
Oh, okay. So, all right. Now, Martha's Vineyard is quite a wealthy enclave. I mean, there's quite a lot of money there. Apparently, the average median house is well over $1 million. Did he think that they would be able to better serve them, but they would have more money? They would be able to look after them, or what?
No, he says they are reacting just as he wanted to show everyone how they would react, which is, as his own words, this is not my words, this is his words, not in my backyard, which it's okay if it's in someone else's backyard, but not in their backyard. And that's exactly what he wanted to prove.
Yeah, we have a saying in England, actually, NIMBY, not in my backyard, NIMBY. And there's a whole thing. It's NIMBYism as well, NIMBYism. So it's, sort of. So, yes, I agree with everything, but not in my backyard. So I agree with building, that new housing estate there, but not at the back of my house. Do you see what that is? NIMBYism. Yeah, it's I think that
Right.
happens. I think that happens everywhere. So is he saying that's what he wanted to prove?
Is that what you wanted to prove? Absolutely. Now, I believe that he is being sued. I don't know if he's being sued directly. No, he's saying the state of Florida is being sued. And you're being sued by the residents of Martha's Vineyard. That's correct. Or are you being sued by the migrants? Both. So I feel like Martha's Vineyard people are actually helping to, are they funding them? He believes that Martha's Vineyard people are helping to fund the lawsuit against him for moving them out of Florida. That's interesting in itself, because I'm not sure what the laws are here in the US, but I certainly know with the EU, because I did study EU law, which is that migrants are supposed to claim asylum in the first country that they land in. Now, let me ask him this. Is it because migrants are supposed to make claims in the state that they first arrive in? And he's telling me no.
No, but are they? I mean, yeah, but hang on, they are not claiming political asylum, are they?
Are they claiming political asylum? No, they're not.
Right.
Economic migrants.
Yeah, well, that's slightly different. You see, the rules in the EU, which seem to not apply to anybody in the EU, because that's why they all end up in England, is that you are supposed to claim in the first European country that you land in. Well, obviously, a lot of the migrants in Europe, travel many, many miles through many countries before they get to the promised lands of what they believe is the promised lands of either Germany or England. So this is different. This is pure economic migrants. So they're not claiming political asylum. So interestingly, does he know that El Paso in Texas, recently sent 30 buses full of migrants to New York? But nobody's cried out about that. So, I mean, was he aware of that?
Yeah, let's ask. Are you aware that or Texas sent 30 buses to New York of migrants to New York? Yes, he's fully aware, and he thinks good, because he's saying we can.
How is it that El Paso in Texas, I mean, that's a town, not a state, but how is the principality of that, or the municipality of that? How are they not being sued? Why are they not being sued?
He believes that they will be sued.
Right.
He believes that this is going to be the start of massive lawsuits. And this is going to be stretched on for many, many, many years. So the lawyers that are doing this pro bono or taking in charity money in the hopes of making, a very good fee out of suing the governments, he's saying to me, he's like, it's wishful thinking. They're not going to win. He had the law checked. He's saying, I checked the law. So unless they make some new laws or they recreate laws, but laws I don't believe can they be retroactive? No, he's saying laws cannot be retroactive. So it has to be, on the findings of today's current law. But he's saying they, in his words, and as harsh as this may sound, he says they got what they deserve, and talking about the residents of Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
And he is planning to bus more up there. So he is planning to bus more to not only Martha's Vineyard, but at this point in time, he's also planning to make this a habit, a routine of busing migrants to these very, very wealthy areas in the country.
Okay. Does he mean busing? Because obviously the ones that went to Martha's Vineyard were flown in by what looked like a private jet.
Flown in. Yes, they were, but are you going to bus them or fly them in? Well, he says bus or fly. Wherever we can put them. But he's saying they cannot stay here. They just can't. There's nowhere to put them. There's nowhere to house them. They just don't have the room. he's saying that the amount of migrants that are coming in are just, it's too much to handle. And for their own safety, he's saying he doesn't want to end up with these massive migrant encampments, right? So then you end up with these really unsanitary living conditions for them. He's saying that, that's the last thing I want is people camping out and taking over a massive area where they don't have access to health care, clean facilities, clean water, things like that, food. So he doesn't want them to set up in tents and form an encampment.
Right. Okay.
Because that brings about a whole nother issue of, then you get diseases and you have health problems. And he actually is saying, this is quite bizarre, but he's actually saying they deserve better than that. They deserve to, be healthy. At least we can give them that. That's a very interesting answer from him, isn't it? Because I think he gets a lot of flack, or he has received a lot of flack for sending these migrants out. But considering that he's now concerned about their health and doesn't want them living in squalor, that sheds a different light on it.
Yeah, it does.
Are you planning to run for president? No.
That's what I was gonna.
Every single time I ask him, I get asked a lot to probe him to see if his opinion has changed.
Take him out to 30th of December 2024.
December 30th, 2024. 6
Did you run for the president in the election?
Did you run for president in the election? No, he doesn't want to be president.
So he didn't run. Nobody tried to persuade him.
Did people try? Oh, there's lots of people trying to persuade him. They're whining and dining him. They're trying to court him into running for the presidency now. But
I know, but we've got him out at the end of 2024, so that is, after the elections, isn't it? So we're now looking back, and did he run, or was he persuaded to run, or or did he just literally stick with? All right, is he still the governor of Florida?
Are you still the governor of Florida? Yes.
Okay.
Wow. See, that's what I love about these mind probes. You always learn so much from them, whether you agree or disagree. I don't actually agree or disagree at all. I try to, I stay neutral. I just think what's going to happen is going to happen, or no matter how much you protest and do something about it. For me personally, right, my personal existence, I don't have time to protest or do anything. So I just, I don't need to be involved and have an opinion one way or the other. So that it's always very interesting. Again, if you want to support this channel, please subscribe to the Patreon, Remote Viewing and Beyond. If you want to book a reading with me, we can do all sorts of things in a reading. We can mind probe. We can channel your loved ones in spirit. We can move you or other people out into the future. We can probe entities, whatever you want to do. Book a reading, psychiclizcross.com.
Can we just ask him 2 more questions? Sorry.
Okay. He's thought of 2 more. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, this is this is just an addendum. It's got nothing to do. So, grouper fish, is that still a problem in Florida? Has it been overfished?
Is grouper fish still a problem? Yes, it's a massive problem.
Okay, what are they doing about it?
They're doing a lot of research on how to preserve the population. You have to have scientific data to back up the action, because obviously the funding, he's telling me, for the environment, you have to earmark that funding whether it's on a state level or at a federal level, but you have to have the data to back it up. So at this moment, they're still collecting data.
Okay. What about the gator population of Florida? How's that doing?
The alligator?
Yeah, they're a protected species there, you see.
How's the alligator population of Florida? How's it doing? They're becoming overrun.
Are they becoming a problem with homesteads and things like that?
Yes. So I feel they've had to really increase their employees that deal with getting alligators out of, personal property spaces, personal pools, things like that. Are they still a protected species? Yes, they're still protected.
Right. Okay. But I was wondering whether the population was starting to get a bit out of control. So,
yes, it is. And what about the pythons? Are they still out of control? No, they've managed to somewhat control the pythons. There was a big problem where people were having pythons as pets, and then they realized that they couldn't, look after them properly. So they would dump them in the Everglades, right? So there was a massive problem a few years back with this, dumping pythons, and the python population was becoming too much. And of course, that makes all sorts of problems as well. But it seems that they've managed to get that under control. He relies on, I don't know about this because I don't hunt and I don't fish, but he relies upon the hunting season. So I feel like there's dedicated time allotted to coming down and hunting certain things. Can they hunt? They cannot hunt alligators, though.
no,
They're
they
not
can't.
supposed to. Oh, they can't. I didn't know that.
Not at all. There is no. They can. I mean, if they become a pest, or if they have a home invasion or whatever, then yes, if they can't be removed, they can be sorted. But yeah, I mean, they can be disposed of. But no, you can't hunt. That's what I'm saying. They're a protected species. You can't touch gators. But I was just wondering whether a lot of these species, unless there's some form of culling, they can they can sort of start overtaking areas and all sorts of things, because the wildlife and the natural surroundings of Florida is at odds a lot of the time with all the development and everything else.
Yeah. I know it's been a while.
One last question, please. Has there been any hurricanes in the last 2 years that have hit Florida?
Have there been any hurricanes in the last 2 years that have hit Florida? Have there been any hurricanes, like major hurricanes?
Yeah, major, Cat 5.
Category 5 hurricanes to hit Florida. No, I do feel like they have a smaller category, like a category 2.
That's a nothing burger.
Is that a nothing burger? I don't know. But yeah, it's been a while since you've been to Florida. But I have to tell you, when I went down there, I was down there in February this year, and I was down there last year. And I could not believe how busy Florida was and how they have built on every square inch. So my favorite place to visit is a place called St. Augustine. I love St. Augustine, Florida. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a real family place. You don't have to worry about like drunks and junkies on the beach and stuff like that. Your kids can play freely. There's lots of beaches. And it's just really family friendly. And I was like, where in the hell did all these people come from? I mean, it was absolutely jammed with people. And it wasn't even, the height of summer. And that was the residents, just the resident. They have built on every square inch of Florida. Let me ask DeSantis this. Are they still coming down in their droves to Florida? Yeah, he says, okay, this is what he just said. We're overrun. What are you going to do about this mass exodus of these other states coming down to Florida? He's like, there's nothing we can really do. We just have to try and tax the developers heavier. So I feel they're going to put but then he's saying you're in a position because you want them to redevelop certain areas to make them, more habitable, but you want to have to try to curb, building on every plot of land that they can. So I'm saying, have you put provisions in place to stop the building? Are you now buying up more land in terms of preservation? Excuse me. And yes, that's a yes. So now they're trying to find more protected lands, more protected species. If the species live on this land, then they're not allowed to build. So they're having to really, really increase their environmental departments in order to incorporate all of this, development and trying to stop it. Do you like that? He doesn't like this, right? Personally, he thinks that it's going to ruin Florida. So he is now trying to stop all of this development, in a nice way, but he is trying to halt the development. Now that's very important because, like you say, there's a lot of animals down there. It's a haven for animals. If you allow people to build on every square inch of land down there, where the animal's gonna go. So this is where he's got to do this dance around, trying to keep the area, the landmass safe down there. I love Florida. Florida is a great state, but again, it was a very different atmosphere when it was crowded. Anything else you'd like to ask?
Tourist trade. So Florida has always been the number one destination pretty much in the US for tourism. Are they still seeing the numbers in their millions that basically come to Florida for a vacation?
Okay, so I'm sorry, clarify that question for me.
Right. Is Florida still the number one holiday destination for the US, in the US? Florida as a state.
Yes, always. Have you resolved your issues with Disney World? No, he has not resolved those issues with Disney World. He really cracked down on Disney World, and those of us with kids, right? What do we do with kids, right? Where do our kids want to go on holiday? They want to go, they say, where's the pool? Where's the beach? And where's Mickey Mouse, right? That's all they care about. And everybody that has kids will laugh because they know that is true. That's all they care about. They want to know, where's the pool? Where's the beach? Where's the fun? And are we going to Disney World? I love Disney, by the way. But again, Disney is insanely crowded too. So no, the problems with Disney have not been resolved.
Okay. I personally prefer Daytona Beach on the bike week, but anyway, that's just me.
Does Daytona Beach still have the bike week? Yes, it does. Now, St. Augustine is only an hour, I guess.
North. That's north.
I love St. Augustine. It's just so beautiful. The art galleries, the beaches, the old pirate ships, the haunted walking tour. I just love it. It's just an amazing place. And I never get tired of it. And they also have the alligator farm there, which we always go to. And I don't, because I'm too scared, but my husband and my oldest son will zip line over the top of the alligator pit. So I'm just like, as long as the life insurance is current. So anyway, I think that's all we have for DeSantis. And it doesn't look like he's running for president, folks. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Shakespeare. Again, psychiclizcross.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.